Solo for the last couple of weeks, and I'm so excited that I get joined by my dear friend Chuck Gillentine now. Chuck is the owner of Defiance Ridge Vineyards, and we're going to enjoy a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon. First of all, hello, my friend. I've missed you.
Hola. Hola.
Exactly. You've gotten used to saying hola, have you not?
It's a beautiful country, beautiful beach area. I spent my first week, was out in Napa, Sonoma. Had a fantastic invitation from my friend Chuck Wagner. Came us to visit during their 50th anniversary, and it was just fun. And 1,600 people over 4 days. I bet he was one tired man after that.
I bet.
It was great. They were pouring 1992s and fours, and
Oh, yum.
yeah, it was. They're quite the place and quite the host.
Well, so you went to Napa first, and then you went to my second home. You went to Cabo San Lucas and actually stayed at the resort that we've been going to for 14 years. Here's the crazy thing. So I went a handful of years ago, and I'm sitting there talking to this lady, and she says, "Where are you from?" And then she says, "Oh, I have a friend. Well, it's kind of near St. Louis, and they're really big into wine. Actually, they own a winery." And I said, "Oh, well, I have a lot of friends that own wineries. What's the name of it?" And she tells me, and I'm like, "Chuck?" And she goes, "You know him?" I'm like, "He's a very good friend of mine." And she's like, "I've known him forever." I'm like, "What a
Yes,
small."
we grew up together. She's a chatty girl. She's a wonderful from a wonderful family, four sisters, and they're all just great. Uh,
Well, I can't believe that. I mean, we go to Mexico and I end up seeing someone that you know. And then you ended up staying at one of her rooms just this last week with your wife, right?
my brother and sister-in-law flew down from Texas, and they know them also real well, and that's how we got the room for the week.
Isn't it stunning? It is
It's
just
stunning. It really is. I can't imagine more a beautiful ocean setting than
exactly. Well,
uh,
and the thing that I've always said, Chuck, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful places in Cabo San Lucas, but the thing that to me makes that one stand out is that it's right there where the convergence of the Sea of Cortez and the Pacific Ocean comes. So it allows you the privacy of the Pacific Ocean where you don't have all the peddlers, but
that's
you
right.
are steps off from going to the marina for the nightlife.
Yeah, and the marina is great too. I mean, if you can get through all the peddlers,
Yes.
it's just wonderful. Good food. They did have some great restaurants, and we, a few massages on the beach at the sandbar. In fact, my brother went there three different times. For $49 for 90 minutes, you pack them in there like sardines.
Oh, yeah. You
But
can't beat that, though, right?
I can't believe how great it was and how good the service was.
They are. They're incredible. So if any of you have never had a chance to go to Cabo San Lucas, I highly recommend that you look into Grand Solmar Lands. And they also have, if you're a golfer, they've got a sister resort more on the desert side called
Mhm.
Rancho San Lucas. Did you by chance have a shuttle over there?
We saw it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we didn't go and play.
Now,
Weather was great. It was windy, but it was like on the coast. It was like 75 every day, but it was probably 85 to 90 and around the marina. Uh,
well, I won't be at that resort. I'm staying with a friend at their resort. I will be in Cabo in what? I think it's less than a month now. So
oh,
it's I can't wait. We'll share stories and share pictures.
well, it's a beautiful place,
Yeah.
and I bought a cowboy hat for our show next week.
You did? Well, I've got my glasses ready to go. These turn on, by the way. You probably can't see it, but these are my 4th of July glasses.
I figured I'd have a cowboy hat for Ruby, so
I've got one. Here's the funny thing. I got one for my husband, and he said, "I am not wearing that." And I said, "Come on, it's just for once. It's a
well,
PBR."
he's got to wear it. He's going to wear it.
No, but this one, yeah, but yours is probably a good cowboy hat. His is a PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon cowboy hat that's literally made out of the boxes from a Pabst Blue Ribbon. Very, very down to earth. 4th of July. Yes, if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, I've been checking in with Chuck to see how things have been going for this. So you still have tickets left.
Yes,
And
we do. We would like to sell another 120 or 30 tickets. I don't know if we will, but we're at that 400 uh, point right now, and we'd like to get up to 500 if possible. We'll see.
Absolutely. We always talk about the fact that people wait to the last second sometimes to make their plans. So you are a week and a day out from 4th of July. And if you have not made plans yet, we'd love to see you. Who's opening up for her, by the way, Chuck?
Uh, I knew you were going to ask me that question. I always forget the guy's name. But they've played together, I think, before,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and so they open it up, and they're full band, and then it's going to be her with her guitar.
Yeah.
So
She comes on at 7:30.
yes, and then we have double fireworks afterwards.
Yes. So come on out. The tickets are available right now. I want you to go to defianceridgevineyards.com, purchase the tickets. Come on, spend the day with us, spend the afternoon and into the evening. And if you've seen Ruby before, it doesn't matter because every single concert is different. She sits there and asks for you to call out your request, and she will just like that play them for you. So we'd love to see you. We'd love to spend the holiday with you. We've missed Chuck. We talked about what we wanted to feature today, and I'm going to show it to you first. So this is a Cab Sauv, one of my absolute favorites, Defiance Ridge Vineyards. It's the 2022 Cab Sauv, and I love. So Chuck always provides me with these wonderful tasting notes, and we are going to run through. If you have never ever tasted a Cab Sauv, is this a good one for them to start with, or would we have to transition them to something else?
No, this is the starting Cabernet.
Okay.
It's got a little sweetness to it, and it's a little lighter, but it's got that black currant flavors, and the profile is really nice. It's a warm weather Cabernet from Paso Robles, and it's
Oh,
very
that's
easy
light.
to drink.
Yeah, this is very light. The nose on this very different than the big Cab Sauvs that we see
Yeah.
from like, the Napa area. So tell people about Paso Robles if they've never been. The difference in that and the soil than what we would see in a normal Napa Cab.
Well, Paso is kind of like two different wine regions. You got your east side and the west side. The east side is more of your very hot weather varietals, Rhone varietals, maybe some Spanish varietals. And on the west side is only 10 miles from the ocean, and that's where they grow the Cabernet, the Chardonnay, some Pinot in the hills. It's Viogniers. They make the area is beautiful. It's if you get a chance to go there, you'll be very impressed. The
Yes.
wineries are fantastic, and the food is wonderful. There's some wineries there that are just they're becoming kind of like the second Napa.
Oh.
Paso is, and they make great wines.
And you said there's great restaurants there also?
Oh yes, they have a square kind of like Sonoma,
Huh.
and it's very quaint, and it's easy to get around. I was there a couple years ago and really had a nice time, very nice time. We did some horseback riding in the canyons, and it's just a fun place.
Well, and you mentioned if you're just tuning in, Chuck Gillentine. Chuck is the owner of Defiance Ridge Vineyards. That we would love to see you go often and taste their food, taste different wines. We always mention to try a different one. Say, hey, I saw this particular one on a Wet Your Whistle, and I would like to try that. Your cab, you say, is from a larger winery that Chuck Wagner, who you mentioned earlier, actually set you up with years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, set me up in 2018. A winery called Castoro.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
they're a massive winery that makes a lot of wine for a lot of different people, and great to work with. Year in year out, the flavor profiles don't change, and so I send their winemaker. His name is Tom. An email about 2 months before I need the wine, and he'll send me a couple samples. And normally, everything tastes exactly nearly the same every year.
Well, you got to love that, right? Everybody wants consistency.
And it is very consistent. Makes life easy on that end.
Absolutely.
They've got a state of the art system where they handle the whole thing for us. I send them the labels, and they're in charge of the glass, the caps, the whole bit, because they're buying so much that it's really makes more sense for me to let them just buy from me.
Well,
Or
you just mentioned something that we've done on a past show, and it is about glasses. So I've served this one, and I opened it up. And here's the other thing I want to tell people: don't be afraid of this. It's a screw-off cap. Some people might be like, "Oh, that's not a good wine." I've heard you have to have
wine.
what'd you say?
It's a fail-safe wine. You can't make a bad wine with corkscrew with
With the
twist
screw.
on.
Yeah, twist off.
You
So
know,
is this the right glass? Is this a cab?
yeah, that's the perfect class. That's a called a Bordeaux glass, and the Bordeaux is usually part cab, and uh, so that's your perfect glass for a Cabernet.
Perfect. And you know the Cabernet is called the king of the reds. Why is that?
It's the largest grape in the world by quite a bit, and its production started 1700s. It was a crossbreed between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc.
Hmm.
You're fighting the red together, and you come up with Cabernet Sauvignon. But cabs are in Bordeaux. You have the left bank and the right bank, and the right bank is for the most expensive wines are from the Merlots, which but Cabernet is I think the percentages are like 25% of grapes grown in Bordeaux is Cabernet. I think Merlot is like over 60%.
Wow.
Um, but it's in the Cabernet. It's Cabernet's always in a Bordeaux blend, or most of the time. I can't imagine not being in any, because Bordeaux is a means of blended wine,
Hmm.
and but they're all it can be up to 5 grapes.
And can you tell everybody, because I know some people who have talked about how much they love this particular Cabernet, the average price of Petrus is how much per bottle?
Over $4,000.
What makes that? Because
Average,
people have asked that before, Chuck. What
average,
makes a wine be so expensive?
it's just supply and demand, and what these wine buyers will pay for. Petrus is they can say it may be one of the greatest wines in the world, 96, 97 points on the average, but it's they crop it down. It's so silky and smooth. I think I've tasted one maybe about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Um,
Did it taste like $4,000?
oh, probably then it was maybe $800.
Oh my gosh.
But those first growth Bordeaux's, just like first growth Burgundies, are just you can't. No one can drink them, but they're really rich and famous.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. For those, um, are the Coravans still popular? I remember getting one of those years ago to be
We,
able to.
we use them.
You
We
do?
use them on our higher end reserve selection. So we have Camus and Chapelet and some of the wines that from the West Coast. So we do use them.
Can
Uh,
you explain to everybody what that is?
it's basically a fail-safe product that goes into a cork and lets you pour through a needle, and
Mhm.
it seals the bottle back up basically.
And
And
and when
so
it seals it back up, Chuck, a lot of people have asked this. Can it really be then laid back down and it's not going to spill and you can have it for years?
it can, but the one thing we found out
Uh-huh.
that in high humidity
Yeah.
days, sometimes the corks will start to push up a little bit.
Oh, really?
So we try to keep them in a cooler area
Yeah.
after we've opened them, because some of this stuff, the special select Camus is $50 a glass,
Woo.
um, and you may pour one every week.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's we're lucky to be able to have it here, and
Sure.
but that's the big wine, the big boy that we have.
The big boy, yeah. And again, but we're talking about wines that you don't have to spend $4,000 a bottle on. You'll be like, okay, I can never have that.
$200, you can buy a great Camus Special Select.
Well,
This
what about this though? How much is this for us?
$35. That's
There, see,
yeah.
$35, and it's such an easy drinking. It doesn't have that big in your face. Wow, that's a huge cap.
It's a
This is
great, it's a great Cabernet.
yes. And
I
then
mean,
let's
only Cabernet.
I did this because I can't have a big meal. I'm not going to have much of this. I actually have Ruby coming to the house. I'm personal training her to get her ready for her performance and get her ready for her Grand Old Opry. So she'll be here within about a half hour. So I just grabbed a few things, tasting the wine with you. And then I got some cheeses and some crackers. I want to talk about the things to pair with this and then the things not to pair that would ruin it. So what would be the best cheeses for us? And see if I
Oh,
did.
sharp cheddars and
Okay.
and the heavy goudas. That's
Gouda.
too.
That's a goodie. That's a Gouda.
You don't want to go with a big, huge blue or anything like that with a cab. But the cheddars are great. Uh,
Okay.
makes it pretty easy for Cabernet. on
So
with cheese pairings.
let's see if you think that this one would be wrong. So I picked up, I'm not usually a big fan of like cheese curds, but I went down to our friend that's just down the street from you, Circle Six. We always want to support all these small businesses. Tiffany, I stopped in because they opened up their market side, picked up some meat from her, and then she had these cheese curds. These are sriracha. So would this ruin the taste of my cab?
Won't you tell me?
Okay. Here, I'm going to do, that's a really good point.
Yes, my guess is yes.
Okay, here's the Gouda. Okay. All right. So this is sriracha cheese curd, and it's got that spice. So it's probably going to overpower it. Oh yeah, it completely changed it. Oh, it made it really bitter tasting.
Yeah, it's spice and Cabernet doesn't work well together, or hot spice. So
Isn't that interesting? And people always say, "I don't get it. Food doesn't change the wine." Yes, it
it
does.
certainly does. That would be great with our dry Vignon or Riesling or something like that.
The spicy cheese would be.
And even maybe with a really dark Syrah that could work a little bit,
Yep.
but you need acid with that. Uh,
Okay.
and I would be drinking something white.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're visiting live right now with Chuck Gillentine. He is with Defiance Ridge Vineyards, and the wine we're featuring today, 2022. It's the Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles. We're talking about food pairings. So steak, all cuts, Chuck says.
Yeah,
Pepper crusted ahi tuna. Now you're talking my language. That sounds amazing.
that would be
Eggplant,
great with this. With
eggplant parmesan. That sauce would be good with this.
any sauces, reductions, and of course fatty steaks. A nice grilled, porterhouse or T-bone would is just the way to go. As you know,
So here, let me ask you this. If I put this, or what do I need to do? Because we have those steaks that I bought from your friend down the street, and we're going to grill them this weekend. So it's Wednesday. If I want this to last to Saturday, what do I need to do for it?
put the twist top on and set it in a cool place. It should be fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't need to pump anything into it?
I mean, if there's no way you can pump anything out of it because of the twist top, because what oxygen is in it is going to stay, but
Okay.
it's at least it's locked out and
Okay.
it should be fine. Normally when we have a bottle of red in the tasting room, the rule of thumb is usually 3-4 days,
Okay.
but
And then
we'll
we're good.
go through on a Saturday we'll go through 15 Cabernet bottles
Okay.
and tasting. So.
Then I'm going to have to tell you how this goes with that meat. We bought a strip steak, Angus beef for Jim, and then I got Wagyu filet mignons from her.
Oh, I need to stop by there this afternoon and pick
You
up.
do. And actually, I believe the very first, they're kind of doing a soft opening, but they're going to have music, I think, there on the weekend. So you can kind of pop back and forth and support both of my friends because you've got some really great things coming up this weekend. Dr. Vegas is Friday night, correct?
Yes,
Sold out, though.
it's sold out. But look, if you show up at 6 o'clock, you'll get in.
Okay.
The way these things have been running is we're seeing probably about a 10% no show,
Oh, okay.
and so we're that. I don't want to act like we're sold out. Ticket wise, we are because we have to put a cutoff.
Sure.
But I would show up at 6 o'clock, and you'll be able to get in.
Dr.
If
Vegas.
they have a problem, tell them that I said they could get in, please.
That's right. Chuck said, I watched him on Monica's show. He said I can come in. So if you've never seen Dr. Vegas, one of the best performing groups I've ever seen. So that'll be Friday night. Charles Glenn Duo, phenomenal voice. You've probably seen him sing at the St. Louis Blues games. He'll be there on Saturday. And then Rock Opera, which I've heard a lot of great things about, will be there this weekend as well.
They're a fun group.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right. So again, great music always. We always talk about the food as well and just gathering with friends and family. So have you every single week kind of more and more seen your numbers just build? My husband asked the other day because we drove by and he said, wow, I wonder how many people go to wineries when it is just crazy, crazy hot. We had 103 degrees the other day. So what's the answer to that?
Sunday was a tough day last Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday was surprisingly better than I thought it would be.
Good.
We have that grate inside that we can keep at 80 degrees, so that makes a big difference.
Yes.
But no, the heat is tough. especially outside. Now, underneath our cypress trees, there always seems to be a nice little breeze, and people are always sitting under those trees,
Yeah.
and it's because it blocks the sun out, and it's nice.
If you've never been before, I'm going to pull this video up so that you can see what you're missing out on because it's just absolutely stunning. He just mentioned whether you want to sit outside. Right now, there's a gorgeous breeze. I mean, people have been talking about how warm it is, but with all that rain we had overnight and into this morning, it actually cooled things down. It gave all of this behind me a chance to soak it up because all of our grass looked like it was crispy. So it needed that. But there you go. You can sit outside, listen to great bands, dance the day away, the night away, eat the amazing food. And I've loved the fact that since we started this collaboration with Chuck, so many of you have written and have said, I've gone to see music there. I've eaten some of the food and the boards. The boards have been the number one thing that I keep hearing from everybody. They agreed with us that they think the boards are some of your favorites.
Well, we appreciate that because we really try to theme that. Uh,
Yes.
because wineries are known with boards and charcuterie, and we wanted to have a really big step out on good boards.
Absolutely. So again, today's wine, and we have featured several over the last 4 or 5 months. This is I'm a big cab fan, and I know some people say this, Chuck. They think, oh, when it comes to summertime, I usually put my cabs away, and I'm always drinking whites. Why do you think people feel that? Because it's so hot out, and they don't think of a red wine.
But I think it has to do with, again, red wine and heat. You just think, sweat, hot, and your white wines are always chilled.
Yep.
So for me, especially in this kind of weather, I mean, I love to grill, and I've been drinking our new 1897 wines that just came in, and they are fantastic. I had a bottle of Nebbiolo last night, which is blowing me away. And tonight I'm going to try the Zinfandel with I'm grilling some pork chops. So
What time should I be there?
just seven, seven.
I'll be done training Ruby and then I'll come on over. Here's the thing that most women, well, men probably too, but women always say the two favorite things that they like is a good Cabernet and dark chocolate. And that is a perfect pairing for this, isn't it?
Yes, dark chocolates just work well with Cabernet.
Yeah.
It all kinds of sweetnesses, and the chocolate percentages that are in chocolate. Milk chocolate, not I don't think so much as dark chocolate.
No, yeah, dark chocolate and red wine just are great. So again, we talked about the major food pairings one more time. Steak, all different cuts if you're going to get this wine, pepper crusted ahi tuna, eggplant parmesan,
Lamb
mushroom
chops,
risotto. Huh?
lamb chops. If you don't have some European wines, lamb chops are great with Cabernet.
And again, don't go wrong with the cheeses. So cheddar, aged Gouda, and Chuck says to stay away from stronger cheeses, fresh fish, and spicy food. So what would fish do to this?
I think that you need something meaty, like ahi, to work with it. Maybe with this wine, I could maybe see a salmon, a
Yeah.
peppered salmon or something working with it. But
Hmm.
as far as whitefish, you drink what you want to drink.
Sure.
But I think you can find a lot better wines to go with those foods than a Cabernet.
Well, I'm thinking like if you're going to do a steak, if you do, what about a coffee rub or as you just said, pepper?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, the pepper, the coffee rubs usually go better with the bigger mountain Cabernets, the bigger, stronger ones that you like.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
think about one of those Air Cabernets or something.
Oh, yeah. Chuck introduced me to Aonera, which is a fabulous place. Again, he's got wonderful friends that they all team up and they make these incredible wines. I'm a big Cab Franc fan, so I love the fact that there's this cross between Cab Franc and Sauv Blanc in again going back to 17th century in France, which is just amazing. So Bordeaux blends can be of 5 grapes he mentioned earlier, 6 grown in Bordeaux. So Merlot, 62%. Cab 25%, Cab Franc, my favorite, 12%, and then Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Carmenere,
Yeah,
1%.
and Carmenere is not used a lot from what I know, but
Yeah.
usually is Cab Franc and Petit Verdot and Malbec. is in there also. So yeah.
Yes, all of those. I'm a big fan of blends normally. So we have featured, and I would love for you to tell us. You can shoot me an email and let me know what have been some of your favorites. Whether it's a red, it's a rosé, it's a white. Maybe it was a champagne, or not an actual champagne, but maybe it was we can't call it champagne, right? Because Chuck told us this before.
Sparkling.
You can't call it's a sparkling. You can't call it a champagne unless it's from that region.
That's true.
All this education he has given us.
Well, you
Again,
can't call it Bordeaux unless it's from Bordeaux.
see, yes, these
It's
are the
French.
things. So if you want to go this weekend and try out Defiance Ridge for the first time, try to see the music series of Dr. Gervais, Charles Glenn, or rock opera. Try different foods and wines as you go there. There's so many that have won award after award after award. As you see, they do have memberships that will give you great pricing as well. And then if you want to go online and purchase a bottle online, there's a look at some of the wines that they have. But I love the fact that he's always introducing us to something new and the new labels as well. All right. Well, we are going to be together next Thursday for the big Ruby Lee concert. The doors open at 4 o'clock, right?
Yes.
4 o'clock, and then an opening band, and then Ruby will be 7:30 to 9, and then
Ruby.
again, huh?
Ruby.
Yeah, Ruby. She might be able to hear us. She's driving. Ruby, fireworks. Stick around for them, right? There we go. Do a fireworks
Show.
What? Say that again.
You'll like our fireworks show.
I have heard. I've never seen them. I haven't had a chance to spend the holiday with you, but looking forward to it. My friend, I'm so glad you're back. Tell Michelle I said hi. Glad you are safely back in our area, and I can't wait to see you in person at the big concert next weekend.
Okie doke. We'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Cheers
Okay,
to you.
cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.